Hey, welcome back. My name is Tiger. This is the Tiger on Fire, and we are building a retirement journal, a plan. Uh, yeah, yeah, that sounds good. Sometimes the thought is faster than the mouth. Uh, so, the first part we talked about questions. We asked a bunch of questions, and you can add questions or omit whatever you don't want. You can tailor this plan however you want. Uh, the second part we talked about is creating a budget, identifying and finding all the expenses that we got leaving our pockets uh, every year, every couple of years, weekly, monthly, quarterly, whatever. We want to know everything that's going out and identifying each and every one of those things and seeing what we can cut back, cut out, or tweak a little bit, or maybe even set more money aside to cover those expenses. Now, there's all kinds of budgets out there. You can do anything that you want, whatever works best for you. The what I covered as far as the budgeting stuff is what we use, what we've done, and we've been very, very successful the way we did. However you do it and it works for you, that is fine. Just have something, but you want to know everything that's going out, and then categorize it, put it in buckets, however you want. The third part we're going to talk about, and I have my books here. We're kind of going to go through and work on that. This is going to take quite a bit of time. So I'm releasing these videos on Saturday. That way it gives you like a whole week to kind of go through and think about that. So you got a week to think about the questions. You got a week to play around and try to get all the expensive stuff done. You'll have a week, but honestly, it's going to take more than a week. Like this, and the next ones are going to take a lot more than a week. It's going to take time, so you're going to have to kind of review these things as much as you need to. The more aggressive you are, the more you're going to look at it. If you got time, that's fine, but you still want to figure out your plan. So what we're covering is like the benefits and stuff. That when I say benefits, this is more your career wise. Your company, your career, where you are at. Currently now, and the purpose of it is to identify everything, like all the rules, all the details of each little thing, to kind of figure out where you are and how you can take advantage of each of these things a little bit more, or what you don't need to pay attention to. And I'll get into more of that. But I figured I'd read this quote. So life is never made unbearable by any circumstances, but only by the lack of meaning and purpose. That's something that kind of stuck with me when I read it. We all have to have a sense of purpose, and without it, you're just kind of lost. And thinking about purpose, you like my dog's got to have a sense of purpose. My kid has a sense of purpose. My wife has to have a sense of purpose. I have to have a sense of purpose, or you're just nothing more than a zombie. So I just kind of, I don't know. I like that, and I like knowing that, hey, we all need something or be part of something. And then there's some other quotes here I thought that were really, really good. I figured I'd share with you. Embrace obstacles to build the resilience required to live a purpose-driven life. I like that one. How about this one? If you want happiness for an hour, take a nap. If you want happiness for a day, go fishing. If you want happiness for a year, inherit a fortune. If you want happiness for a lifetime, help others. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. My wife loves to volunteer, and I want to help others as well. I don't so much volunteer, but I not like at shelters or anything like that, but I do help others. I find great pride and joy helping others. And this is one way of doing it. Happiness isn't something that's achieved. It's a skill that is circulated and practiced, cultivated and practiced daily. its mastery comes from serving others. In other words, helping others, um, being of a service to others. I kind of like that. All right, let's get into the meat and the bones. So benefits, right? Section 3. So when I talk about this is the stuff that you want to go through and make sure you understand all the rules and regulations that apply to it. Not all plans, not all retirement plans, and HR are the same, right? Like my 401k has a 55 rule. My IRAs, 59 and a half. My you know my pension, there's a bunch of rules that go with that. Hey, I believe I can withdraw that at 57, but I know based off the research I've did, digging into my pension, I understand the plan fully. If I did this plan just for myself, or if I did it with for myself and my wife, if I die, this is what happens. If I pick this plan, my wife will continue to get paid. You want to know the details of everything, and this is what this is for. You're figuring everything out, right? That you currently have now, so that you can take advantage of anything. So, like if my 401k, right? I have backdoor Roth, backdoor contributions. I have Roth. I have pre-tax and after-tax contributions and stuff. And I've mapped out and figured out what makes the most sense for me, what's going to give me the biggest bang for my bucks, and how can I take advantage of that? My HSA, what is the best way to pay my HSA or contribute to it as fast as I can, and enjoy more money the rest of the year because I maxed out the contributions. Can I continue to contribute to it? There's all kinds of different things. So basically what you're going to go through is, I would start with and there's no particular order, but look at your pension, look at your HSA, 401k, IRAs, go through each one of those and just annotate on however many pages you feel like you need and figure that stuff out, right? Go to the Social Security Administration. Make sure you can log in and verify your Social Security benefits. Make sure that, one, you have enough credits to receive your Social Security when you hit that age, and what is the projected income that you would make every month from that, and then look at it. If you pull at 62, 67, or 70, you know the difference, and what year do you need to be what year do you have to wait before you can pull this, that. So I know, like, hey, if I want to pull at 62, I know exactly how much money I'm going to get every month. But if I wait another 5 years, it would be an extra $500. And if I wait till I'm 70, that's a little more than $1,000 extra a month I would get. But you have to know what the rules are, because if you make so much money over a set amount before you're 67, you're going to have to pay some money back to the Social Security Service. So, there's a lot to it. So you're digging through everything. Your time vested with the company, like my company has or used to have a 15 and 55 rule. So when I turn 55 and I have 15 years of service, I'm fully vested in the company, right? And I get to keep all my uninvested stocks that they gave me, right? They took that away for any new employee. So I don't agree with that, but I left early, and because I figured out the math. Does it make sense to stay another 3 years to get all my uninvested stocks? To some people, that yes, it's very important. For me, it's like, no, I'm doing a lot better, and I can make a lot more, and other factors that I put in there by leaving early, right? So it's not a big loss. We talk about employee stock purchase plan. If you're not doing that and you have that, you need to be maxing that out. But maybe it may not make sense to put anything in there at a certain point. Same thing with your 401k, right? So I was maxing these out as much as I could every month. In 2024, I stopped my employee stock purchase plan after the first quarter, and then after that, I just was collecting the money and using that money and putting it in my taxable account. My 401k, I stopped contributing in my 401k in January for the first time to get a bigger paycheck to actually build up my cash reserves, right? So, 401ks are not all that great anyways, and give me this, buddy, come. Dogs are wandering. Sorry. So having the extra money, it helps me, and it's going to help my wife and my puppy dogs to do a little bit better. 401ks are very limited what you can invest in, and I can do better by moving that money to an IRA or wait until I'm 55 and put it in my taxable account. So it all depends on what your strategy is going to be, right? So know what your dental, medical is currently now, and what COBRA would look like, or what is it going to look like COBRA, to kind of give you an idea when you leave. Some companies will offer give you COBRA, and knowing how much you would have to fork out with that and what it actually covers is pretty important, because you just might have to go shopping for coverage somewhere else. Now, COBRA for me, when I left the company, was going to cost me almost $3,000 a month. That's a lot of money. That's over 30 grand a year, right? 36 grand a year just to do that. And COBRA is only good for 18 months, and then you get dropped automatically. It's just a means of continuing your coverage until you find something. A little depressing, a little expensive. Luckily, my wife is still working for now. Like I said, she wanted to do some career goals, and she wanted to see how this was going to work before she started to pull the trigger and say that she wanted to retire as well. So it's kind of like a trial run, and she according to her. So, all right. So we get into COBRA, we go into insurance, legal assistance. So legal assistance is pretty good. If your company where you're at offers you legal service, and what is those legal services? Someone will do wills and powers of attorneys and some other trust and stuff. Take advantage of those while you can. If you're paying into it, or your company offers it, do it before you retire. Get in there and start getting in there and take advantage of those things. Most people don't. I was paying for it for over 10 years and never used it for like 10 years. That was a waste of money, right? So that when I finally did use it, I really did get my money's worth, because I was just paying into it, and it was more expensive based off what I paid into it. Figure out and map out if you get stock awards, cash awards, bonuses, merits, some kind of compensation bonus, whatever, and you get it every year or certain times of the year. Map out the 12 months and the dates that you get these. Like what I do, I was showing, in the first video, I believe. I've mapped out the 12 months, and I figured out when I'm going to get bonus, stock awards, my merit, and stuff like that. I kind of mapped it all out to kind of give me a visual of what I was going to see, or when to kind of expect that. And it kind of helps you with kind of picking a good date, future date, or kind of an idea when you want to retire. Because if you know when you're going to get bonuses or merits, that it will help you figure out, okay, I'm going to go after this payday. That way I guarantee I get this big chunk of change in my checking, and then I'll just retire. That's kind of what I did. I wanted to get my paycheck and make sure I got some stock awards, and then I was out. So know what this stuff is. You should be able to find almost all this stuff on your HR site, but just dig into perks. If you have perks, like discounts to different things, you may want to figure out um, what kind of discounts can you get take advantage of before you leave. I had a AMX card that I was paying for, so reward points. I made sure that I've been collecting it for 10 plus years, and I just decided, you know what, last couple of weeks, I after my trip, I went in and just went on a shopping spree, buying all kinds of stuff with my reward points, and then got those, and the card was canceled shortly after I got all my rewards. So I totally forgot about it, but if I didn't write it down to make sure that I did this stuff, then I would know. Now, part of this stuff too is, as you're building this stuff in here, build some checklists. So build you a checklist, 90, 60 day, 30-day checklist, and departure checklist. 90 days, complete these different things, or 120 days. You want to make sure you're doing these things for your company or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be all company related, but have checklists done. I have checklists somewhere in here that tell me to. Let's see if I can find them here. Probably won't find it because I'm looking for it. But yeah, I had like checklists that tell me, hey, do this, do that, and do this. And it was actually really good information that kind of helped me prepare for retirement. Oh, here we go. So like I have this big checklist, right? Just kind of show my wellness. Download tax forms, your W-2, your pay stubs. Make sure you get all that stuff. Contributions, if you have like a charity donations through your company, download your charity stuff. Check your SSA Gov, verify your information. And set out your out of office or say goodbye letter to everybody. Copy your personal files if you have to, get employee discounts or anything else. So I had a nice big list and things. And another list was, hey, return customer equipment, company equipment. What was each of those things? Like my customer equipment, I need to return this, right? A badge, a laptop, etc. My company, I need to return badge, AMX card, laptop 1, laptop 2. You figure this stuff out, exactly what you need to return, right? So I have all this stuff figured out in these checklists, and the checklists are very, very important because it's going to help you not have to scramble at the last minute. So you got time, think about it, build your checklist. Checklists are awesome. You're going to figure out your investments. You're going to figure out, you're going to pull out information and try to figure out what's like a high risk, medium risk, low risk. How are you investing? You also want to create your rules. Your rules for retirement. Rules are like how you're going to invest. So I am not going to, it could be a rule, and you can change this, but the reason why you create rules is you don't want to violate your retirement rules. You don't want to violate these rules because when you violate them, you get sloppy and you could jeopardize what you're trying to put away for savings. So I'm not doing aggressive option trading. I don't even care for option trading too much because I get nervous. I get anxiety every time I do it. I didn't enjoy it so much. I'm not going to stop doing, but I'm not doing a certain type of option trading. I'll do it way out of the money, and my goal is just a couple $100, $100, $200 at a time. I'm not trying to go crazy. Other stuff is, rule, hey, I'm going to put 10% of my money into a savings, right, and not touch it. Another rule would be, hey, I'm going to reinvest portion of my money back into the investments. Uh, I'm going to try to max out my IRA contributions and my wife's IRA contributions with my investments. So you figure out rules of what you're going to play by, uh, and that's exactly what you're gonna continue doing. Uh, so once you go through this, and it will take time. It took me a couple of months. I pulled all kinds of information. I went through OneNotes. I went through the HR website. I went through some team investment club type strategies. I did a lot of reading, and I went to like my Fidelity site and dug through the documentation in there to make sure I understood what I was allowed to do, what I wasn't allowed to do, any penalties, and what kind of penalties there were going to be. Uh, like the happiest thing I found was the 15 and 55 rule for my 401k, that hey, I can pull money with when I turn 55 without any penalty. So that makes me very, very excited. So I have a meeting next week. I'm going to be discussing about possibly moving some of my after-tax contributions to my Roth, and maybe move some funds to my IRA, and then keeping some money in my 401k until when I turn 55, that I can just move to my taxable account and kind of use that as, a little bit, how do you want to call it, to get it to work for me sooner than later. I guess I don't know how to explain it, but if I need the extra money, I'll be able to pull that money. So, but yeah, so you just go in here and you ask questions. You can add more questions in there, figure out what your rewards are. I have Social Security. I have 5 bucket lists. I have some lists in here, like 5 buckets, right, that you need to be aware of. 60%. It needs to be committed to expenses. That's your mortgage, all your bills, everything that goes out, taxes, every charity, anything that leaves your pocket. No more than 60% of that should be going to whatever, to pay for whatever. This is somebody else's rules, not mine, but I kind of liked it. 10% needs to go to your short-term savings, used for like vacation repairs, appliances, gifts. It's irregular expenses, what they say. Then 10%, another 10% you want to your long term. This is stuff that should be automatically deducted and going into an account. This is what you're going to use for like an emergency fund, stuff that you dip into if you have to, absolutely have to. And then 10% is your WAM money, your walking around money, fund money. And another 10%, you should be contributing at least 10% to your 401k, your IRAs, your investments or something strategy. 10% of your paycheck. I think folks that are looking to retire are probably doing a lot more than 10%. I would hope, especially us folks that are in our 50s. You want to catch up and do much more. I still like to take advantage of the catch up stuff, even though I'm retired. So. Social Security, I know when I can retire, when my wife can retire again. I know the amounts, I know the rules, what to expect, my benefits, my dividends and stuff like that. I get typically. Yeah, there's a whole lot that goes into it. It's the more you are aware of what you currently have. And you can indicate in there that you're not going to have that after a certain day. Once you decide you retire, if it's 59 and a half, or when you retire at 60, that's fine. But know what you can take advantage of now. Know what you're not going to be able to have later. Know whatever schedules you have, and know, build your checklist when you're going to do certain things. And in this part here, you like I said, if you guys can work, with your wife, your husband, or whatever, you guys can work together to build these things, I guess, if you want. I would hold off on the first section. The budget, you definitely should be working with your spouse, your partner, to get all that stuff, because that's going to be really the same. Write it down, figure it out. This part, if your spouse works for a different company or something like that, then that person needs to go through their company because they have access to it, and figure all that stuff out as well. Very, very important to know these things, because this is what's gonna set you apart from everybody else that's just keeping up with the Joneses, buying them a new Maserati every other year, or they have big $1 million homes and stuff. But I don't need $1 million home. I'm happy with a $200,000 house, $100,000 house. I'd be a lot happier with a smaller home than I have. Um, I do like how some couples are downsizing everything. I love that. We haven't really downsized a whole lot. We're taking our time trying to figure out what it is that we want to move into next. We don't know if we're moving into a small house, a trailer, or just buying another house same size. We don't know what that's going to look like for now. But figure out your plan, and figure out what it is as far as your benefits, and what it is that you're going to be looking forward towards. All right, long-winded. I apologize. Hopefully this makes sense. We'll get into the next thing. We're going to be talking about research, and that will be kind of a long one too. Well, I mean, it's going to be long for you to work on this stuff. But hey, you have a week to knock this out before I put out the next video. But try to get it done. If you don't get it done in a week and it takes you a month, it takes a month. Mine took a while. Mine probably took a couple of months to get everything down. So, all right, now, y'all have a great one. Thank you for watching. Give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe. Leave comments if you have any questions or ideas and stuff. Love looking at the feedback, and I appreciate all the support. I will see you guys on the next one. Later.